Yeah, guys. It's have up here. It's been a while, but I thought this was a very important video to put out there. Let's just go straight in. Um, First of all, spoilers alert. Again, this is a game that I've only finished recently, and it was very hard for me to avoid the spoilers because there were spoilers everywhere. Guys were trying to spoil for this thing for me everywhere, so it was actually very hard to go through the months and finally finishing the game. But in the end, I did it. And this is a big, huge thing that talk that I want to say that encompasses many different things, and I'm coming at it from a very different kind of angle. Because this whole Mass Effect 3, we've had again. Please, spoilers again. Spoilers. If you have not finished the game, do not watch this vid. I will repeat again. If you have not finished the game, do not watch this vid. Let's go. Spoilers begin now. This is a lot bigger because I'm coming at this from a different angle. I'm not coming at it from the angle of, oh my gosh, they should change the ending. How could they do this thing? All I've worked for. And I'm not also coming from the angle of, artistic integrity. Why should they change the ending? It's fine. It's beautiful. It's what they do. No. I'm coming at it from a new edge. And the new edge is this. 2007. Mass Effect 1. When I saw the ability to customize your character and I saw the conversation wheels in it, I was like, this is a dawn of a whole new opportunity. This is a game changer. In the same way in which I thought Fable would be a game changer, but it failed. When I saw that conversation wheel, and obviously the main thing was I could make my guy black. Okay, yes, call me. Sorry. But that was that's the main catalyst of why I was in there. But you could make a guy black, Asian, European, anything like that, South American, and he's really in a sci-fi movie. It's a sci-fi opera. And when I saw the conversation wheel and how you interacted with people, choices you're making, and just how well it was done like a movie, I was like, we are on a dawn of a new wave of RPG. But nothing really prepared me for when I actually played the game, Mass Effect. And after I finished it, and I was like, wow, that is unlike any other game I've ever played in my life. I've played a few RPGs here and there, but I was like, this is unlike any game I've ever played. I mean, the thing where, like, my gosh, like, after playing Fable, where, like, your choices don't mean a diddly squat, this is where, no, your choices really mean something. Your choices really do have a consequence. And you really, for the first time ever, okay, I know some other games, but I'm sorry, this is the first time ever in a video game where I was like, man, this choice is something, it's actually really weighing on me, it's really weighing on me. I'm like, wow, this is serious, and again, no text speak, it's all conversation, so it's all speaking, so you really feel like if you're really immersive. So it was a new dawn of game, and also I was like, man, this could really go places. Then I heard about Mass Effect 2 that somehow they would actually merge your character into Mass Effect 2. So I was like, man, these guys are doing something even more. So for a sequel of a game, it will take your choices that you did in Part 1 into Part 2. I was like, my gosh, BioWare, these guys are onto something. Because I remember playing Knights of the Old Republic, and that lasted 2 minutes. After the combat started, I said no. So, but with this game, combat, gameplay, everything was on point. Just get my chocolate here. And then came something that I knew was the beginning of something very dodgy. EA, Electronic Arts. Please Google EA's headquarters and look at their glass house, okay? Because guys, so they know which EA have cash. Once EA merged with BioWare, I was like, something dodgy is happening here. Something very dodgy is happening here. And I was a bit iffy. Playing Mass Effect 2, it was still in line with Mass Effect 1, but I still felt that Mass Effect 1 was the better RPG experience than Mass Effect 2. I still felt that the side missions and side quests that you did and the choices you were making in those side quests and side missions were a lot more better than what you got in Mass Effect 2. But despite that, Mass Effect 2 still kept the heart and the blood and the juice and the hook of what made Mass Effect 1 good. So I was like, wow, okay, so EA have not really meddled in this. But I was like, okay, let's now see for part 3, because part 2, legit, fine. He haven't meddled too much, but again, there were just some things within me innately mean that's like didn't really sit well with me in Mass Effect 2. That so that something is brewing. Thus we get Mass Effect 3. The very first time, and I told this to my main man Elements, the very first time when I knew that something was up was where, first of all, there was this whole focus on the gameplay. I was like, okay, yeah, gameplay is but Mass Effect, the main thing for me, Mass Effect is not the gameplay. It's the RPG, it's the story, it's your character, and the choice. That's the main thing. The gameplay, yeah. Mass Effect 2, it's fine. Mass Effect 2, like, boom, gameplay, it's fine. Now focus on the story and the RPG elements. So let's focus on, like, oh, these new weapons or new things you can do. I'm like, okay, but why is so much focus being put on this? And then I heard that there was an option for action. So forget RPG, there's an option just for how this happens as an action game. Then I was like, wow, dear me. These guys are forgetting about their fans. These guys are looking at the bigger picture. They're looking to sell this game to a broader audience. Don't give a damn about the fans, bruh. So then I knew that, like, no man, something's brewing. The way this thing is being marketed, the inclusion of an action game where it removes choices and does not include RPG elements so that it can basically appeal to a wider audience, means that their focus was not on creating the final RPG, or their focus was not on creating the final act of what they had done in the Mass Effect 1, sowing up those seeds. So then we have and because Mass Effect 3, let's just put it here and straight, as a game, well made, good gameplay, good graphics, some pretty interesting choices that he had made that obviously didn't have any consequences, but we'll get there. But essentially, as an RPG game, as a holistic experience, it's inferior to Mass Effect 2 and the Mass Effect 1. To this day, I still feel like Mass Effect 1, despite having very dodgy gameplay, some very dodgy frame rate issues, for me, was the better game. As for an RPG, and adhering to the genre of RPG elements, for me, was the best game in the series, Mass Effect 1. With Mass Effect 2, a very close second. A very close second was Mass Effect 2. The whole thing of the character building with that thing, which is a very good point that Elements made. They get into your characters. That was a very, very good one. So that's being third. We then have Mass Effect 3. Where the side missions constituted in fighting Cerberus, which, after all, I just grew bored of it because I was about to say that I'm supposed to be fighting Reapers. Who are these guys? And I just grew bored of those Cerberus missions. And going through other planets and trying to evade the Little Reapers like some 1985 video arcade game, and scanning them and then seeing random guys on the citadel saying, oh, thank you very much for finding that artifact. It's laziness, I was like, where are the thing of like going to a random planet and doing a small mission on a planet, or having small side stories, Mass Effect 1 comes to mind. Skyrim comes to mind. These are RPGs where like there's a main story, but there's also very small stories within the main story. I mean, like, how do you not have, because the whole world is ending, how do you not have a lot more smaller stories that you can actually sort of do? That's the whole RPG element that was missing. Because there was so much focus on like action that's over elaborate cutscenes, a rip-off of the MGS Raiden character in the form of Kai Leng. So I was like, what, these guys are just trying to make a full-on action game and appeal to the gamer and make it really cool and all that kind of stuff, and forgot the slower, methodical RPG elements that they had from MGS1. And as for the ending, I mean, it's very simple. I mean, it's a full-on cop-out. How you do not have endings that can fully suit what the choice that you've made is ridiculous. And they pretty much copped out. So really, they pretty much lied as to what they said. But let's just be fully clear here. Let's just be fully clear. you can't ask them to change the ending. I don't care what it says. You can't ask them to change that ending. You know, that is what they did. That's what they've done. To now try and add much more of an ending shows that you've already messed up. It's the same thing with this whole Expendables 2 thing. The damage is already done. In your mind, was it PG-13? That's the damage. That's the issue at hand. In your mind was, we're going to have a colorful Ringa Ringa Roses ending tree. That was in your mind. So, you know, that's the same thing. And also, you know, you have very small things as well. Another thing with this whole Cheska Chobotnik or whatever, you know, Chobots, you know, Cheska Chobots, you know, for me, excuse me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm alone in this, but isn't it wrong to include an IGN employee who is all over? Sorry, isn't it wrong to include a major gaming site employee where said employee is plastered all over the site and is the face of the site? Isn't there an issue of bias around here and when it comes to reviews of the game? There are many things here that it doesn't really sit well with me. Then you have this whole multiplayer nonsense where you have to play the multiplayer game and the Mass Effect Infiltrator to increase your galactic readiness rating. It is sick. I'm sorry, EA. I am not paying to join your Origin network or your account. I'm sorry, okay? I am a guy who should be free of choice, okay? I bought a game to play single player. You cannot force me to now buy your stupid app on Mass Effect Infiltrator. And I'm not hearing this thing about the DLC. It's ridiculous. So what? So I have to pay more for this character to add to the story? No. It's not happening. So it is not happening. Guys, it's very simple. I've been spending time on thinking, oh, what happened? What happened? It's very simple what happened. BioWare sold their souls for the mighty dollar. Their plan was create an ambiguous ending that people would like but will get people asking questions, release a DLC about a month after that adds to the ending, and charge people for it. And because people will like the game and like the ambiguity of the ending, they would thus buy money to see, oh, let's get more of the ending. Thus, in business terms, added value. Adding more value to the said product, you know, and that was the thing. The DLC that they said will expand on the story was of course it was they were going to charge you for it. Okay, it's about cash. It's about cash, you know, because they're using. Oh yes, we have a desire of these fans. Therefore, we're going to use the same thing with this whole DLC. We have the desire of these fans to really know more about the lore and the story. We're going to charge them for it, you know. I bring out a book. No, J.K. Rowling says, you know what? I'm going to bring out this book here. But you know what? I'm going to have a little side thing about, you know, let's say, about Voldemort's backstory. And I say, you know what? It's going to be in a smaller book. And I'm going to charge guys for it a few months after. Because I know that guys love this thing so much. You know, difference is the book costs about £7, £8, £9. Game costs about 40 quid. You know, big difference. You know, just to say, it's about 40 quid. You know, and Halo 2 when it came out in the day cost about 40 quid. You saw the multiplayer thing that guys are still playing about 5-6 years afterwards. GTA is about 40 quid as well. You know how many hours you could do in 40 quid. Skyrim, 40 quid. You know how many guys have clocked about 100 hours on Skyrim. That is what you call cash, worth every penny. You know. Guys, it's very simple. Very simple. You know, it's very simple. BioWare sold their souls. I do not want them to release a new ending. They messed up. This was their plan. They caved in to EA. They caved in for the mighty dollar. The damage is done. This is the true face of BioWare. The damage is irrevocable. The fact that they have not even come out and said, oh, sorry, blah, 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 means that they sold their souls. This is the true face of BioWare, you know. And the sick thing is this. The sick thing is that it's sad that no industry is immune to the powers of the mighty dollar. I thought the gaming industry, this new industry growing, was all about the creativity, you know. And that's why you just hope that, you got that guys like Rockstar don't keep in like this, because Rockstar, those guys, you buy a Rockstar game, you get Rockstar content, you know. So really, it's like BioWare, they sold their souls, man. I mean, sorry guys who, because I was not really like a major. I'm not a major. I'm not a BioWare fan. I'm more of a Rockstar fan than a BioWare fan. You know, like anything that Rockstar brings up, like okay, let's see what this guy's doing. So I was a Mass Effect fan, but I saw the signs. Hence why I did not rush to buy this game. And when I heard the little things that were coming out about what happened, I was like, ha 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 ha. So, in conclusion, I'm gonna put this bit on. In conclusion, really, at the end of the day, it's sad that Mass Effect, what BioWare don't get is Mass Effect, if they're done it right, who cares if it's in a good part of the elements made is that, guys like Blizzard, they're known for delaying their games because they want to perfect it. Rage Against the Machine, we're known for spending so many years perfecting their albums. That's why their albums are so musically dense. If you just spend a year, 2 years in really properly making this thing detailed, full-on detail, where to really complete the game, you have to clock in at least 50, 60 hours. A really detailed, wholesome RPG with truly different endings, a fully heroic ending, a fully dark ending, and then that's a bit heroic and a bit dark. Different sorts of endings, a completely unexpected new ending. If you had, and they spent time on that thing, these guys could have entered into legend. They could have entered into legend. But now when people look back on this thing in 10 years time, they'll be like, wow, man. All they'll be thinking about is the ending. They won't think about, my gosh, they think about the choice. What they will think about, first thing that people will now say when you now say Mass Effect is, my gosh, the whole controversy of that Mass Effect 3. That's what guys will be saying. Okay? BioWare, they screwed their fans, man. They screwed their fans. But I don't want to. I don't want a new ending. They messed up. You can't demand a new ending from them. That's the ending they thought of, whether the right was or not. Casey Hudson is the leader of the ship. This is what he brought out. Take it like a man. It's what it is. But BioWare, they traded art, creativity for the mighty dollar.